Have you ever wondered why some wounds never heal? It's not because you're weak. It's not because you didn't try hard enough. It's because there are people who deliberately dug into your soul, leaving scars that time alone can't erase. Today, we're going to face that truth about narcissists, those who turned love into a sharp weapon, joy into ashes, and trust into an endless ache. Picture this for a moment. You're standing in one of the happiest days of your life. Maybe it's the day you held your newborn in your arms, or the moment you finally achieved the dream you fought for all these years. You turn to the one you trusted most, hoping to see love and pride in their eyes, but instead, you're met with coldness, a fake smile, a turned back, and then they walk away, leaving you feeling like the whole world just collapsed beneath your feet. That wasn't an accident. It wasn't just a fleeting moment of disconnect. It was a carefully calculated plan to break you. This isn't a video about getting over everyday heartaches or finding peace in complicated relationships. No, this is about recognizing that some betrayals are so deep, so cruel, that forgiveness isn't a noble act. It's a betrayal of yourself. In the 5 betrayals I'm about to share, you'll see clearly how a narcissist doesn't just hurt you, they try to erase the person you once were, and more importantly, you'll understand why walking away, without looking back, is the only path to saving your soul. By the end of this video, you won't just see the blades they plunged into your heart, you'll feel the power to rise, to say enough, and to start again, not for them, but for you. So come with me on this journey. Subscribe now so you don't miss a single second of this truth, because you deserve to hear it and you deserve to heal. Let's begin. Way 1. They destroy your pregnancy. Pregnancy? Pause for a moment and think about it. It's a miraculous time when you carry new life inside of you, when your body becomes a home for a tiny soul, when every beat of your heart syncs with the rhythm of another being. You should have been cherished like a treasure, loved like a miracle, honored as a woman doing the most sacred thing a human can do. But with a narcissist, that's not your story. To them, you're not a mother-to-be, you're not a wonder, you're prey, trapped in their web, a pawn in their sick game of control and dominance. They don't honor you during this sacred time. They don't hold your hand through sleepless nights. They don't embrace you when you're too tired to stand. They don't whisper words of love when you need them the most. Instead, they exploit you. Pregnancy to them is the finish line. You're locked in, caught in the trap, and now they no longer have to pretend. The mask comes off, and their true self is revealed. Cold, cruel, completely devoid of empathy. They don't see you as a woman creating life, they see you as a tool, an object to manipulate, a burden to control. Imagine this. You're 8 months along, your belly is heavy, your back aches, your feet are swollen, your mind overwhelmed by the constant changes. You wake up every morning to nausea, false contractions and the looming fear of labor. You need comfort, a shoulder to lean on, someone to tell you, I'm here, you're not alone. But where are they? They're cheating. Not because they're emotionally unfulfilled, like they later claim, but because they want to stab you where it hurts the most. They want you to feel worthless, unloved, right? When you're at your most vulnerable, doing the most divine thing a body can do. They text other people right in front of you, disappear for hours without explanation, and when you ask, they mock you. Who do you think you are? That I owe you loyalty. And when the baby is born, it doesn't get better, it gets worse. You've just gone through the agony of childbirth, your body is bleeding, your breasts are sore, your mind is a haze from hormones and exhaustion. Maybe you haven't showered in 3 days, haven't eaten a real meal in a week, and all you want is a hug, a word of encouragement, a loving glance that says, you're amazing. But where are they? They're gone, distant. Maybe even in someone else's bed while you're fighting to survive the first days of motherhood. They're not there to wipe your tears or hold your hand when your body shakes from sheer exhaustion. Instead, they walk into the room, look you up and down, and ask, when are you going to lose the baby weight? Why do you look like that? They don't see your body with awe for what it just accomplished. They see it with disgust, like it's a broken object that inconveniences them, like you're a failed project in need of immediate fixing. But hear me, this isn't ordinary neglect. This isn't just a bad day or a careless comment. This is deliberate destruction, a calculated strategy to break you from the inside out. They've stolen something sacred, not just your pregnancy, not just your birth story, but your belief that you deserve to be loved in the most beautiful moments of your life. They turn miracles into nightmares, love into shame, pride into doubt, connection into isolation. And they do it not out of ignorance, but because they want you to feel worthless. Your sense of worthlessness is fuel for their ego. I once heard a woman say that when she gave birth, her narcissistic husband didn't even show up at the hospital. He texted her, "I'm busy, you can handle it." She lay there alone, cradling her newborn, tears streaming down her face, as she realized the man she loved didn't care. And that story isn't rare. It's the reality for thousands of women betrayed by narcissists in the moment they most needed love. Forgive them. Forgiveness would mean giving them the power to do it again, not just to you, but to your child, to the future you're trying to build. If you've been through this, take one moment, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, I deserve more than this. I am a miracle, and no one has the right to take that away from me, because you do deserve more. Not just to live, but to be loved, to be celebrated, to be seen in all your sacred beauty. Way 2. They weaponize your pain. Have you ever opened your heart to someone, handed them the shattered pieces of your soul, believing they'd hold them with care, like something sacred? You told them about your childhood, maybe about the father who never showed up, or the mother who walked away when you were too young to understand why. You spoke of the nights when someone stole your voice, leaving your body hollow. Of the years you blamed yourself for things that were never your fault, of the invisible scars you carry every day. You gave them your deepest wounds, not because you wanted pity, not because you needed fixing, but because you believed they were different, that they would understand, cherish you through the pain, and be the safe place you'd always longed for. But to a narcissist, that wasn't a gift, it was ammunition. They didn't keep your story in their heart where it belonged. They didn't hold your brokenness with tenderness or compassion. No, they stored it in the darkest corners of their mind like a sharpened dagger, a loaded gun, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, to wound, to bring you to your knees. And that moment always comes, not by accident, not in a loss of control, but when they feel small, when they want power over you, when they need to punish you for daring to shine too brightly, for being yourself in a way they can't tolerate. Picture this. You're in the middle of an argument, maybe just a small disagreement, when suddenly they shout, "No wonder your parents didn't want you," or "You really are as broken as you said. Nobody could ever love someone like you." Those words aren't random. They're precision attacks, meant to cut straight to the deepest part of your soul, where you thought your pain was safe. You freeze, not just from what they said, but from what it means. Your pain was never safe with them. They never truly valued your vulnerability. They only pretended to listen, to care, to be your sanctuary. Just so, one day, they could use those secrets to destroy you. And they do, again and again. I once heard a story from a woman who told her partner about the abuse she suffered as a child, a secret she had never shared with anyone. He nodded, held her, and for a moment she thought she had found someone who truly saw her. But months later, during a fight, he looked her dead in the eyes and said, "No wonder that happened to you. You deserved it." She said it felt like the floor collapsed beneath her, that she hadn't just been betrayed by him, but by herself for trusting him. That's what narcissists do. They don't just hurt you, they make you feel like you betrayed yourself for believing they could love you. They turn your pain into bullets and they fire them without hesitation. They know exactly which words will make you flinch, which memories will keep you crying at night, which wounds still bleed beneath your brave smile. And they enjoy it. They enjoy watching you fall apart. They get a twisted sense of power from turning your trust into a weapon of control. This isn't just emotional abuse. This is betrayal of the soul. It makes you question your own worth, makes you wonder if maybe, just maybe, you weren't lovable after all. That maybe all the pain you've ever known was somehow your fault. But hear me. You were not foolish for trusting them. You were not weak for opening your heart. You were brave. Brave enough to love, to hope, to believe in a world that had already hurt you. They are the cowards, the ones who used your courage to hide their own emptiness. Forgiving them would mean handing them the key to the doors you've fought so hard to close. It would be telling them that your pain doesn't matter. Don't do that. Keep your pains safe, this time for you. Be proud that you survived them, and promise yourself this: from now on, only those who have earned it get to step into the sacred world within you. Way 3. They violate your boundaries. There are days when you're so exhausted you can barely breathe. Not just physically tired, but a soul-deep kind of weariness. You've given too much for too long, and now you feel like an empty shell, like a candle burned all the way down to its final drop of wax. You need rest, you need comfort, you need a moment to heal, to find yourself again in the rubble of relentless days. But to a narcissist, your exhaustion isn't a signal to pause. It's an opportunity to take more, to push you further into the abyss, to strip away whatever pieces of you still remain. They don't care if you want it or not. They don't care if you feel safe. They don't care if you're silently crying inside. They pressure you, sometimes with sweet words that feel fake, sometimes with suffocating silence, sometimes with pouting or childish outbursts they know will wear you down. You lie there, unmoving, as everything inside you shuts down. Your body isn't saying yes, it's screaming stop. But they don't listen, or worse, they don't want to. They go on and you tell yourself, maybe I just need to get this over with. Maybe it's easier if I give in. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing. You even convince yourself that maybe this is how they show love, that maybe you're misunderstanding them. But hear me, that is not love. That is violation. A violation not just of your body, but of your soul. Picture this. You've had a long day. Your mind is foggy with stress, your body aching with fatigue, and all you want is to curl up under a blanket and disappear for a while. But they come close, they touch you, they make demands, and when you quietly pull away, when you whisper, "I'm tired," they get angry. "Why are you always so cold?" They snap. "I need you, and you never give me anything." They make you feel guilty, as if you owe them your body, as if your emotions are a luxury you're not allowed to have. And you start to wonder if maybe you're the one who's wrong. Maybe you're being selfish. Maybe you're not enough. But it doesn't stop at one time. It happens over and over again. The nights you say no, but they continue. The days you go silent, but they keep pressing. The moments when you feel like you're no longer a person, but an obligation, a tool meant to serve their ego. They turn consent into a foreign concept, your boundaries into lines they can trample without remorse. I once heard from a woman who told her husband, clearly, that she needed time to recover after a grueling week of work. But he still pushed, and when she resisted, he screamed, "You're my wife, you owe me this." She said it felt like she no longer owned her own body, as if it belonged to him, not her. They don't just cross boundaries, they erase them. They steal your sense of safety in your own skin. They turn what should be moments of connection into fear, disconnection, and deep self-doubt. They make you believe it's your fault, that you're too sensitive, too distant, too difficult, that you need to change to keep them satisfied. But here's the truth. You don't owe them anything. Not your body, not your smile, not your silence. They're not worthy of you. Because they don't respect you. Forgiving them means telling them that your body, your soul, your boundaries don't deserve to be protected. Don't do that. Take back your right to say no without apology. Stand tall and say, "I belong to me, not to you. And remember this: you deserve to be loved in a way that makes you feel safe, respected, and truly seen, not used, not coerced, not controlled. Way 4. They shame your parenting. Parenting is hard enough. The sleepless nights, the endless worry, the unseen sacrifices you quietly carry every single day. You wake up at 3 a.m. to check if your baby's still breathing. You wipe away their tears when they cry. You run yourself ragged balancing work and family. You try to keep everything together while your body begs for rest and your mind teeters on the edge. You are a warrior, whether you realize it or not. A hero in the eyes of the children you love more than life itself. But to a narcissist, none of that is ever enough. They don't see your exhaustion as a cry for help. They see it as weakness, as an opportunity to tear you down, to make you feel like a failure. They don't step in to share the burden. They don't pick up the baby when you need a moment to breathe. They don't make you a cup of coffee when you're about to collapse. They don't wrap their arms around you and say, "I see how hard you're trying and you're amazing." Instead, they stand there, arms crossed, and criticize. "Why can't you ever get anything right?" they say, just as you finally soothe your child after 3 straight hours of crying, your hands still trembling with fatigue. "Look at other parents. They're doing it way better than you," they add, as if parenting were some competition you're losing badly, as if your love and sacrifice could be measured by their impossible, heartless standards. They roll their eyes when you ask for help. They mock you when you admit you're overwhelmed. They turn every effort into a joke, not because you're failing, but because they want you to feel like you are, because your failure feeds their illusion of power. Picture this: you're standing in the kitchen, one arm holding your child, the other trying to prepare dinner. Your eyes sting from exhaustion. Your mind spins with the never-ending to-do list. You look to them, hoping for a kind word, a helping hand, a moment of empathy, but instead they glance at you and say, "You're so lazy. If I were you, this would all be done already." They don't see all the things you're doing. They only see what you haven't done, and they use it like a weapon to cut into your self-worth, to make you feel like you're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. They compare you to so-called perfect parents on social media, people they've never met, people whose real stories they'll never know, and they say, "Why can't you be more like them?" without ever considering that you're fighting a battle they'll never understand. I once heard a mother say she broke down crying in the bathroom after her narcissistic husband told her she was a terrible mum for letting their baby cry too long. She had stayed up all night caring for a sick child while he slept peacefully, and the next morning he complained that the house was a mess. She said it made her feel like she wasn't just failing her baby but failing herself for believing that he had the right to judge her. But here's the truth: you are not a failure. You are doing something extraordinary under circumstances no one should ever have to face alone. They're not just hurting you, they're hurting your entire family by tearing down the confidence you need to raise your children, to love your children, to be the parent you're striving to be. They turn your exhaustion into a weapon, they turn your love into a liability, and they don't do it out of concern for your kids. They do it because they need you to feel small so they can feel big. Forgiving them means letting them pile more weight on your shoulders, letting them continue to make you question yourself, letting them destroy not only you, but the children you're trying so hard to protect. Don't do it. You are not a failure. You are your child's hero. You are the flame that keeps burning no matter how hard the winds blow. Stand tall, look at everything you've done, and tell yourself, "I am enough, and I will keep being enough, with or without them, because you don't need their approval. You only need your own love, and the love of the little ones who see you as their whole world." Way 5. They flirt to hurt you. They do it right in front of you. The lingering glances, the sly smiles, the compliments that cross the line, just enough to sting yet remain vague enough to deny. You stand there, feeling each cut like a blade to the heart, while they laugh with the waitress, flirt with a co-worker, send harmless messages to someone you've never met, or even openly flirt on social media, right there with you sitting beside them. This isn't carelessness, this isn't a thoughtless moment, this is a calculated strike, designed to make you feel small, to feed their ego with your insecurity, to turn you into a powerless spectator in what was supposed to be your love story. Picture this. You're at a party, wearing your best outfit, trying to feel confident by their side. And then they lean in towards someone else, laughing louder than usual, likely touching their arm, like you're not even there, like you're a ghost in your own life. Your stomach knots, a sick feeling spreads through your chest, like someone is slowly squeezing the life out of your heart. You're not imagining it. You're witnessing it, you're feeling it, you're living in it. And when you dare to speak up, when you finally ask, "What are you doing?" they don't comfort you. They don't say, "Sorry." They don't hold you and say, "I didn't mean to hurt you." Instead, they smirk. "You're too sensitive," they say. "You're overreacting. It was just a joke." But it wasn't a joke. It was an attack. A blade aimed right at your self-worth. They want you to question yourself. They want you to wonder if maybe you're being irrational, if maybe you're not attractive enough, not fun enough, not enough to keep their attention. They want you to look in the mirror and see a faded version of who you once were, while they stand there basking in the glow of someone else's attention. But here's the truth. You're not being jealous. You're being humiliated. You're being manipulated. You're being pushed into the shadows so they can shine. This is a double blow. They hurt you while inflating their ego. And the craziest part? They enjoy it. They enjoy watching you shrink. They enjoy the power of making you feel invisible. They enjoy the sick game. They know you can't win. I once heard a story from a woman who said her husband flirted with a co-worker right at a family dinner in front of her and in front of their children. He laughed, complimented the other woman while she sat there holding back tears, trying not to scare the kids. Later, when she brought it up, he shrugged and said, "If you don't trust me, that's your problem." She said it felt like she lost more than just her husband in that moment. She lost herself. That's what a narcissist does. They don't just betray you in private, they betray you publicly, so the world can see, so you feel like the loser in a game you never agreed to play. They don't do it because they don't love you. They do it because they don't love anyone but themselves. Their flirting isn't even about the other person, it's about you. About making you feel not good enough, about keeping you in a constant state of insecurity so they can keep control. This is a public betrayal, not just of your heart, but of your dignity, in front of the people you love, in front of yourself. Forgiving them is agreeing to be a prop in their sick play. It's saying your self-worth isn't worth defending. It's giving them permission to keep stepping on your value. Don't do that. You are not a spectator in your own story. You are the main character, the star, the one who deserves love and respect. Walk off their stage, hold your head high, let them perform alone, because the moment you leave, they'll finally realize no one claps for a show with no audience. We've just walked through the 5 ways a narcissist betrays you, and these weren't random acts. They weren't fleeting mistakes. They were deliberate knives driven straight into your heart, your soul, and your identity. They turned your pregnancy into a nightmare. They used your deepest pain as a weapon. They touched you when you were already broken. They made you feel like a failed parent. And they flirted right in front of you just to tear into your self-worth. They didn't do these things by accident. They did them because they wanted to break you. Because they needed you small in order to feel big. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. You're not broken. You're still here. You're still standing. You're still breathing. You're still fighting. You have the strength to say enough, to turn your back, to walk away without looking behind. Forgiveness, in this case forgiveness, isn't noble. It's self-destruction. They don't deserve your kindness because they never truly valued it. Walking away isn't giving up. It's victory. It's reclaiming yourself from the hands of someone who was never worthy of you to begin with. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pause this video, stand in front of the mirror, and make yourself this promise. I will not let them define me for one more second. Then begin your healing journey. Not to prove anything to them, but to prove to yourself that you are stronger than they ever believed. You are not alone in this fight. I'm here. Thousands of others watching this are here, and together we say, we deserve better. If this video spoke to you, leave a comment, share your story, or just say, I'm ready to walk away. Subscribe so we can keep walking this path together, because we're not stopping here. Let the healing begin, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, remember this, you are enough, and you have always been enough.